Hi and welcome to the Motober series, where I attempt to recreate my Inktober illustrations as motion graphics. Today's prompt is ancient. Let's take a look. Bit of a basic one again today. It's supposed to be Stonehenge. It's a bit of a bad Stonehenge, I'm going to admit. It's very, it's flat design, if you can call it design at all. Basically, all I wanted to test out today is a way of bending the shadows and having them react to the sun. So as the sun moves in the sky, I wanted the shadows to act, well, like shadows do. I wanted them to fade, I wanted them to stretch. And going in, I didn't really know the best way of making that happen. But it turns out there is an effect, as is the case for most things in After Effects, called CC Bender, where you can bend things. And the whole premise behind this CC Bender is you choose a top point and a base point, and it will stretch. Now, I've thrown that shadow layer under the rock comps layer, just so there's no overspill. The rock comps are just a bunch of shape layers. The rock shadow, it's just flipped. So again, it's the same. I've tweaked some of the positioning so that they just sit relevant to the stones. But for the most part, again, it's just a copy paste of that rock layer. And then I have changed the scale. So I've changed the Y scale instead of the X scale. And I've also animated that a little bit so the shape of the shadow distorts when the sun goes past, because that's what a shadow would do. And that's what I'm trying to replicate. It's the same for the bottom as well. So if you ever needed a way of bending things and you weren't entirely sure how you go about that, there's effects. UCC Bend It. I have the sun and the moon. The moon is pick whipped to the sun. So when it rotates 180 degrees, I believe, the moon is where the sun would be. And they just keep spinning around forever and ever. So over everything as well, other than the sun and the moon, I have a hue saturation effect, which is also being animated. I've got a couple of keyframes in there. And all that's happening is when it's nighttime, it gets darker and things shift. So they're a little more purple or a little more blue. And then it goes back to normal again in the daytime. And then that just cycles. And there you go. Not really much else to say on this one. Very basic, but hopefully it's giving you some ideas for your own projects. So if you're taking part in Inktober this year, good luck for tomorrow.